bets, along with parlays, props, future bets, and more. There's no better place in Michigan to celebrate the return of major sports. Stop by the betting windows or the self-service kiosk anytime to get a piece of the action. Get ready to believe in your game again at the BetMGM Sports Lounge inside MGM Grand Detroit. Must be 21 or older.
97.1 The Ticket. Traffic.
From the WWJ AM 950 Traffic Center, we have just one accident to pass along. It's along the Lodge Freeway southbound, the ramp to eastbound M8 to Davison. You do have a wreck blocking the left shoulder of that ramp. Drivers are still moving well through there and all around town. We have no big trouble spots to talk about on this early Monday. Keep in mind, in White Lake Township, westbound M59 from Elizabeth Lake to Porter Road, right lane will be closed 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. weekdays through early October. Catherine Leslie in the WWJ 24-hour Traffic Center.
You can win $2,000 with the 2 Grand Slam, Thursday at 7:20 on The Morning Show with Stoney and Heather.
Hey, you heard from John?
Nah, he was at a party and he took that Rona home.
So he's out?
Yeah, I'd like to kick that Rona.
Run into Rona, and Rona will take you out. Stay away from Rona. Here's how at RonaForReal.com.
This Radio.com Sports Minute is brought to you by Taylor Chevrolet.
This is Boomer Esiason with the Radio.com Sports Minute. The NFL fans continue to be the biggest losers yesterday. In addition to the obnoxious and distracting artificial crowd noise, there was an unfortunate rash of severe injuries to marquee players. San Francisco alone lost Nick Bosa, Solomon Thomas, Raheem Mostert, and Jimmy Garoppolo while crushing the Jets. The Niners were so spooked by the spongy, sticky MetLife Stadium turf that they are fearful of coming back this Sunday to play the Giants, who lost to Saquon Barkley and they lost to Chicago. Speaking of the Jets, they have to be the worst team in the league at the moment. They don't even attempt to throw the ball downfield. Elsewhere in Minnesota, with a $30 million quarterback, Kirk Cousins suffered a second straight humiliating loss. Another ugly 0-2 team is Philadelphia. The Eagles can't hang with the league's top guns anymore. And finally, Detroit has gotten drilled in back-to-back divisional defeats. I'm Boomer Esiason.
When the idea of divorce becomes a reality, you need someone on your side. If you're a man in this situation, you should consider contacting Cordell & Cordell, who has helped men navigate complex family legal issues for 30 years. Visit us at CordellCordell.com to learn more.
Contact Cordell & Cordell to schedule an appointment with one of our firm's Detroit area attorneys, a partner men can count on. Online at CordellCordell.com. That's CordellCordell.com. Offices in Troy and Ann Arbor.
Jay Farner here, CEO of Rocket Mortgage. Making the right financial decisions has never been more important. When you turn to Rocket Mortgage, we can help guide you to those right decisions now when they matter most. Mortgage rates are near historic lows, so now is a great time to call 8338-ROCKET. And if you need some extra money, a cash-out refinance could give you that financial boost you're looking for. Call today at 8338-ROCKET or go to rocketmortgage.com to learn more.
Offer cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLS number 33.
Wherever your family calls home, Blue Cross is here for you. By supporting and building healthy communities in every zip code, we're providing a healthier future for all of Michigan. For 81 years, we've kept this promise to help strengthen our neighbors, to stand by their side during the moments they need us most. We're here for it all, and always will be. Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan. Confidence comes with every card. To learn more, visit hereforitall.com. Whether it's 2 a.m. on the weekend, or you just need a second opinion, Blue Cross is here with more ways to help you access the care you need. You can call our 24-hour nurse line with any questions during those early mornings, or schedule a virtual doctor visit to get that second opinion. Anytime, anywhere, we are here for it all, and always will be. Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan. Confidence comes with every card. To learn more, visit hereforitall.com.
Do you feel that? That changing from a focus on need to something bigger. Because while it's perfectly fair to ask, what's in it for me? Finding the answer comes from asking, what's in it for me? Chemical Bank is the LTC, and our purpose is answering that question, giving every person, business, community, every leader the financial strength to make us all a stronger we. Member FDIC.
Help Mother Wise to help those in need by donating your card. Your card
Cardiovascular Center at Beaumont Hospital in Royal Oak. Learn more at 971theticket.com. Helmet to helmet contact. Legal here. 97.1 The Ticket.
Fox with the call there. A lot of times when there are pick sixes like that, a guy like leaves the quarterback's eyes and jumps the route, so to speak, John. Sometimes that's not the quarterback's fault. He just throws it where it's supposed to be, and the guy makes a great play.
Yeah.
That was a bad pass.
Yeah, it was a bad pass. He was under pressure.
Look, I've been sticking up for Matthew Stafford. He plays like the last two games, okay? He plays well except for little spurts, and the little spurts are killing him. Last week, taking the sack and the stupid interception. This week, he took a sack at the end of the first half.
Taking a sack and a stupid interception.
A stupid interception. Exactly. It's like, other than that, he played big. Other than, you like the play Mrs. Lincoln. I mean, come on. You can't do that anymore.
No,
he's been in the league 12. This is his 12th season.
And you have to understand that whether there's fans there or not, you're on the road, you're in Lambeau. You have an opportunity to go into halftime, and we'll get to the interception in just a little bit. But if you have the opportunity to go into halftime up 14-10, you take all of that momentum. But the Lions, when you get the ball with a minute 45 left, and you're on your own 7, you're up 14-10. Green Bay has one timeout. You run a play like they did to DeAndre Swift, who picked up 4. All right, if he gets a first down on that run, and you create some space to where you can, set back and try and throw the ball downfield, because the Lions had 3 timeouts.
Right.
That's what you do. You run a play to try and create a buffer between you and the goal line, and you try and see what the defense is going to give you. All right, they're at the 11-yard line. Matt Stafford is in the gun. He steps back, and this is where, for me, there's 90 seconds of follow.
Yes.
For the Detroit Lions. When you're a veteran quarterback, you have to know that you take the snap
to 1387 Maxfield Road,
and DeAndre Swift
for 20
was
miles.
wide open
Continue straight
at the line of scrimmage. You dump the ball off, because as soon as you take a step out of the pocket, you know things are starting to break down. You have 2 choices. You hit your wide open running back, and you live to play another down. You get the ball out. Maybe he picks up a first down, and then you can take a look downfield and say, we still got 3 timeouts, we can move downfield.
Right.
But as soon as you move off that spot, you have 2 choices. You dump the ball off, or you throw it out of bounds.
Right. You don't worry about the fact that you're stopping the clock. It's better than a sack. And then Green Bay called a timeout. And then as your 90 seconds of folly continue, Peterson gets 4 yards, and it's holding on Ibushi.
Stop the clock.
Yes, stop the clock. That was the worst part of the penalty. Because I don't think Green Bay, I don't know what they were going to do. They might have used the timeout, they might not.
So they stop the clock and they give Green Bay an extra timeout.
Yeah.
And then it just keeps getting worse. They end up punting the ball,
right,
and they give it to Aaron Rodgers at the -38 with 1 minute left and no timeouts. Right? They spent their timeout. Now Aaron Rodgers starts to move down the field, but they don't get to move it by themselves. The Lions give them 30 yards with no time on the clock.
It wasn't the Lions that gave him 30 yards. It was Will Harris. Will Harris, right, of course, you remember the draft previously in 2019. They traded up to get.
Right, and so there's a pass down the sidelines to Valdez-Scantling, and Will Harris hits a defenseless receiver. Free 15 yards, first down, stop the clock. On the next play, there's a pass, and again, Will Harris comes across, horse collar tackled. It was a 7-yard gain, horse collar, personal penalty, personal foul. So they get the 7 yards, they stop the clock, they walk off another 15 yards, and it just, you put them in field goal range to begin with to get points before you go into halftime. But Aaron Rodgers, you give him the opportunity, but this isn't where the folly stops.
No.
The folly continues because they let Jamal Williams run for 13 yards untouched down to the 11-yard line. And if you're going to play mistake, if you're going to continue to make unforced errors and you're going to continue to make mistakes, you, like I said earlier, you better create an identity and you better do something well. And that, for the Lions, has to be to be able to stop the runs. No, Jamal Williams runs for 13 yards. They take a shot at the end zone. It's a touchdown. And then it gets worse because they go into halftime down 17-14 and lose all momentum of being on the road, being in Lambeau Field, being up going into halftime. They go down 17-14. So, hey, we're going to set the tone defensively when we go out, right? We're going to be aggressive. We're going to get after them. We're going to give them a look they've never seen.
Well, you forgot they did miss a 57-yard field goal before the half.
The Packers go SOL and commit a penalty to make them 5 yards closer, but of course the Lions can't count.
Right, exactly.
So, I apologize. I left that out to those Lions supporters that still want to see all of the good. They line up a defensive tackle outside the guard, almost head up on the tackle on both sides. Danny Shelton, Deshaun here. They line up Jamie Collins stacked on one of the tackles. They line up Jared Davis over top of the center. That's a no-win situation. We can say whatever we want about Jared Davis. He is in a no-win situation. And they rip off 75 yards for Aaron Jones for a touchdown to start the second half. That completes your 90 seconds of absolute folly when the Lions had, I won't say they had complete control of the game, but they had control of the momentum. Going into halftime at Lambeau at 14-10 is completely different than going in and committing all of those errors and thinking to yourselves, oh shoot, 17-14, man, we could have been in such a better position. Going into halftime with that mindset is totally different.
Our telephone number, 248-539-9797. Take your phone calls, your ticket texts, and go out and garden hire, by the way, which you missed at 802. This is the morning show. T.O. the update coming up next.
It's the Detroit Pals Step Up to the Plate Radiothon. Help area youth become leaders of today and tomorrow through youth sports and enrichment programs.
Detroit Pals has always been a cornerstone in our community ever since I was a child. I had the opportunity to participate in Pals, so did my husband, and now we're both coaches in Detroit Pals, and our two daughters came up to Detroit Pals. So it's really a family experience for us. My fondest memories of being with Pals, just being able to coach for 21 years and watch so many young ladies come up through the program, go to high school, graduate from high school, graduate from college, and become productive members in society, and now they're starting their own family. We have always taught our children to give back to the community, and so now they're coaching and looking as they climb. And so I think that the culture and climate of PAL creates these types of opportunities and relationships that are lifelong. I want to encourage everyone out there to step up to the plate and help Detroit PAL today.
Every dollar helps. Make your donation to Detroit Pal now at 313-880-4PAL. 313-880-4725.
touchdown in the third quarter by Green Bay's Jalen Sullivan. Lions right now find themselves tied with Minnesota for last place in the NFC North after the Vikings were crushed by the Indianapolis Colts on Sunday 28-11. Meanwhile, the Packers are now tied with Chicago for first place in the division after the Bears defeated the New York Giants 17-13. The Tigers, fading playoff hopes, take another blow yesterday as they get beaten by the Cleveland Indians 7-4. Final home game of the season at Comerica Park. Next up for the Tigers, they'll take on the playoff-bound Twins, a two-game series that kicks off tomorrow in Minnesota. Bryson DeChambeau wins the first major of his career on Sunday as he takes home the title at the U.S. Open. Afterwards, DeChambeau dedicated his victory at the Open to his parents.
Parents have given so much up for me. I mean, there were times that I went to school without any lunch money. We had to, make bologna sandwiches and didn't have anything to eat. We had some very, very difficult times, but every single day they always wanted the best for me, and they always gave me the opportunity to go golf, go practice, and go get better.
Los Angeles Lakers take a 2-game-to-none lead in the NBA's Western Conference Finals after they beat the Denver Nuggets 105-103 last night, Game 2 of that best-of-7 series. From the Ticket Update Desk, I'm Tony Ortiz. For more, stay tuned to 97.1 The Ticket and radio.com.
In the Trenches with John Jensen.
All right, as we do after every Lion game, we'll go in the trenches. Before we actually do that, I want to read some ticket texts. The problem is not Akuda, it's Patricia. Akuda is as talented as any DB from Ohio State, Ward, Conley, Lattimore, etc. They're all successful players. It's too early to make a judgment. He just looked bad yesterday. Okay? Can we just not blame complete mediocrity on Matthew Stafford? Every draft pick has been a bust, and the defense again is the worst in the league. Tried, but he has to take responsibility too. He made some horrible decisions that veterans can't do.
I truly believe he made the worst pass of his career yesterday, considering his experience.
That's pretty close to it. I can't think of off the top of my head. I'm sure there were worse, but that was right bad. Justin Herbert in his first NFL start looked more of a leader at quarterback than Stafford. 12-year veteran. I'm not going to judge leadership skills in one game. We now think that Stafford is just an above-average quarterback. I think he's good, but I don't think he's great. We never have. Players are not held accountable. Any winning coach would be all over their players if they played like that. There's no motivation to be winners whatsoever on that team. It starts with captains and coaches. Patricia and Stafford both have to go. As far as accountability, you're talking about like cutting guys, bus tickets, like Bobby Ross. I don't know if that works either in today's game. Didn't even work back then. Shouldn't have to wait another 2 games to start cleaning house. Even if we win 1 or 2 the next 2, even 2 the next 2. What does it matter? I just think it's easier to do. It's cleaner to do going into a bye week. All right, John. Let's get into the exercise.
So, I talked a little bit about this in the first hour, and I'm going to put these together. When you have a deficiency on defense, and you know that your secondary is depleted, you've got to be able to put pressure on a quarterback, so you shorten the duration that they have to be in coverage. That seems fairly obvious to all of us. If you have a deficiency in stopping the run, you have to give your guys up front an advantage. You've got to cover up your weaknesses. I talked about it last week with the offensive line. If you're struggling in match-up pass protection and setting back, then you start running the play action. You let them be aggressive. It's the same on the defensive line. If you can't hold up against double teams, if you can't hold up and win your matchup up front, you have to start moving guys around. So I'm thinking in week 2 of the Lions season, we're going to see some of that. And we didn't see any of it in the first half. I thought after getting gashed a little bit in the first half, coming out in the second half, they would show something different. Well, they did. And what they did was they allowed, and throughout the course of the first half, the Green Bay Packers offensive line started widening their splits, the distance that they were from their partners. When you do that, you expose yourself and you leave a gap that a linebacker could run through, except if you're playing a team where linebackers don't run through. And at the first play of the second half, you've got this offensive line with wide splits. You've got a defense. Danny Shelton on the left defensive end lines up in a 4-eye. 4 is head up on the tackle. 4-eye is just his inside eye. Deshaun Hand, the right defensive end, lines up in a 4-eye on the left tackle. You've got Jamie Collins stacked behind Deshaun Hand. You've got Jared defense in the middle with no nose on the center. If I'm Green Bay and I'm Aaron Rodgers, I don't care what the play is called. I'm checking to a run right up the center's backside because Jared Davis cannot be right. That is the most disadvantageous position for a linebacker to be in because even if he wins on that block and Aaron Jones, just all he has to do is decide, okay, well, if Jared Davis is going to go to the right, I'm going to the left. If he goes to the left, I'm going to go to the right. Danny Shelton gets walled off by the right guard. Deshaun Hand gets walled off by the backside guard and tackle, so does Jamie Collins. You've eliminated everybody on the defense except Jared Davis. The center comes up and picks which way Jared Davis wants to go, and all he does is push him in that direction. Aaron Jones runs right up his backside and picks the opposite way and goes 75 yards, untouched by human hands, and hits his head on the goalpost. Are you kidding me that you are going to put Jared Davis in that position? We can talk about Jared Davis and his deficiencies all we want, but if you put your players in position to lose, you can't expect him to make plays that he simply can't make. You look and you say, what are our disadvantages? And you basically expose them to Aaron Rodgers, and you let him, because when he gets up to the line of scrimmage, I saw this all day long, he gets up there with about 20 seconds, and he will check to whatever play he wants, because he has that experience, he's got that confidence, the game has slowed down enough for a future Hall of Fame quarterback that he can tell his guys exactly what he wants them to do. The Detroit Lions probably knew what was coming 90% of the time, and they couldn't stop it. Because if you telegraph and you never change what you're doing, a quarterback, there's no challenge. A second or third year quarterback would know when my center's uncovered and I've got two wide defensive tackles, at the very least, we're going to get 5 yards. If Jared Davis makes a tremendous play and blows up the center, and our running back decides to fall down, we're going to get 5 yards.
Let me ask you this question, because I'm obviously I'm going to play the game. If in that situation, guys like Shelton and Hand win their individual battles, does that change anything?
Yeah, but to win it, they've got to move.
I know.
And they're not moving, so they're not given the opportunity to be successful either. If you're going to line up there, your guards have the angle. This is a game of angles up front because it is really hard to win those battles. If you have the angle, and that's why this play is so easy to run and be successful, both guards are basically turning out
in 10
and
miles,
walling
make
on.
U-turn.
You call them wide threes, you can call them 4 eyes, whatever you want. They're not, their shoulder pads are not covering the guard. All they have to do is wall them off. And then the left guard, all he's got to do is basically wall off the Deshaun Hand, allow the tackle to get in there, and then get up and wall off 2 counts. There's not any technique involved in this other than being speed bumps. That's all they had to do was be a speed bump.
All right, let me ask you this. All right, so you're not Patricia or Corey Udman, the defensive coordinator. What do you do to fix this? Do you completely, drastically change your core beliefs, your system, or you sit there and say, well, I know this worked elsewhere, I'm going to stay with it, or even that, we just at least, all right, we got to change stuff up and at least have different looks. Pretend we're going to blitz, go back, just make it more, disruptive for the quarterback so he doesn't know what the hell we're doing.
You're not going to change who coordinators are or what they call. But again, you input your players. You have to be able to recognize what our guys are good at and what they're not good at. And right now, they're not good at taking on blockers, taking on offensive linemen head up. So give them the advantage. I have no problem with where they position Danny Shelton or Deshaun Hand. That's a tough block for a tackle to try and make. It's easy for the guards, but when you have a center that is uncovered, again, he is unoccupied. He can walk walk up to Jared Davis, and all he has to do is not fall down. I mean, it's I'm sorry. I don't like, being the guy that talks poorly all the time about the Lions. I don't want to, but this is fixable. Put a nose on the center. Don't let him have a free run at your linebacker. And Jared Davis, God love him, he attacked the line of scrimmage. He attacked that center because that was the only chance he had, but the center just let him pick a side.
Right. They went the other way.
Yeah, Aaron Jones just went the other way. And it's just, if you have a running back that has vision or has the ability to change direction, that is an easy home run. And they knocked it out of the park.
That's John Jansen with this week's edition of In the Trenches right here on 97.1 The Ticket. Heather has news coming up next. Heather?
Oh, guys, there was some major controversy on Jeopardy last week, and fans are still furious, and they think that the show made a really bad call when it comes to one contestant's final Jeopardy answer.
I don't know this. I can't wait. 97.1 The Ticket.
97.1 The Ticket. Traffic.
From the WWJ AM 950 Traffic Center, brought to you by Flame Heating and Cooling. We are accident-free, but we are beginning to see some heavier traffic now in the work zone along 75 southbound between 696 and 9 Mile, but you are still moving through there. We do have later today eastbound 96, the connector ramp to eastbound 696. One lane will be closed for construction 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. today. Catherine Leslie at the WWJ 24-hour traffic center.
The Detroit Tigers play the Minnesota Twins. Pre-game tomorrow at 7:15 on 97.1 The Ticket.
Over the years, you've heard hundreds of Applied Imaging customers on the radio talking about Applied Imaging's great service and extraordinary people. But sometimes it's all about the bottom line. Remember Fred Steiner from Henry Ford College?
Well, a few months ago, I ran some reports to compare what we were paying our old provider for fewer pieces of equipment versus what we're paying for the past year with Applied. And Cal is saving over $110,000 a year in making customer contracts.
Applied Imaging customer client only of in-house property.
Save me money and then probably a good time and less headaches because they're able to troubleshoot things pretty effectively and efficiently if you have an issue.
Mike Drozdowski of Mad Creative Concepts.
I think it's a great partnership, and the cost per copy is cheaper than everything around, so it's all profit.
With Applied Imaging, you don't pay more for great service. Call Applied Imaging today, 800-521-0983, or visit appliedimaging.com. Applied Imaging, fast, friendly, amazing.
If your air conditioner sounds like your baby endlessly screaming in the middle of the night, don't hesitate. Call the experts at Flame. That's Flame Heating and Cooling. Go online now to flamefurnace.com or call 888-234-2340. That's 888-234-2340.
At Michigan's Awesome Government Credit Union, every loan is as unique as you are. Each one is specifically made for where you are today and where you're going tomorrow. So whether you need some financial flexibility, you're planning a big home project, or considering that new RV, we can help with a loan built around your budget and your life. It's easy to apply, and right now you get a $100 bonus. Stop by a branch today or visit msgcu.org. Conditions apply. Insured by NCUA. Equal housing lender.
It's game time in the Motor City. Football is back, and you can catch all of the action with FanDuel Sportsbook only at Motor City Casino. Get in on all the games you love, every play, every pass, every touchdown. It's time to experience sports betting done right with live streaming games, self-service betting, and more. Get your game face on and score big this weekend when you bet with FanDuel Sportsbook only at Motor City Casino.
Ram Power Days is going on now at Kellyanne's Fairlight Dodge in Aurora. Check out these incredible prices. New Ram Crew Cab 1500 4x4 priced at $28,995. Grand Caravan under $19 grand. Journey just $19,333. Kellyanne's Fairlight Dodge to be so well equipped. 2020 Ram 1500 Bighorn 4x4 for just $149 per month. Come see why Kellyanne's Fairlight Dodge and Ram has Metro Detroit's best selection of Ram trucks. Or it's a Durango GT all-wheel drive. Just $324 per month. That's right. It's the Durango GT all-wheel
cholesterol is part of a heart-healthy diet. Did you just...
No,
I'm pretty sure I heard a...
it was my dryer.
You might want to get that thing checked out.
Have a change of heart. Honey Nut Cheerios. Learn more about Honey Nut Cheerios by picking up a box at your local store.
You know how these things start. You try a breakfast Baconator from Wendy's. Love it and tell a friend. Your friend tries a sausage, egg, and Swiss croissant. Loves it and tells his friend. His friend tries a honey butter chicken biscuit. Tells another friend. That friend tries a frosty Cheeto and tells another friend. And so on and so on and so on and so on to Wendy's, where you can buy any of these and get another for just $1.
Limited time only. Price of participation may vary. Valid for item of equal or lesser value. Good luck by combo or any other offer.
As you get back to business, small things can make a big difference. Like marking safe distances with floor tape and posting reminders to wash hands. As always, Grainger is here to help, offering supplies and solutions for every industry. Free access to product specialists, 24/7 support, safety recovery guides, and more. It's part of our commitment to help you adapt and recover in these challenging times. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
From muscle pain, body aches, to strains, Blue Emu Maximum Arthritis. It works fast and you won't stink. Its unique formula with emu oil penetrates deep to relieve arthritis pain, sore muscles, joints, and more.
Concerns about COVID-19 aren't going away, but neither are your health concerns. Please, don't let your health deteriorate. St. Joe's is open for care with clean, safe facilities and testing and screening protocols. Talk to your doctor about scheduling your appointment or procedure today.
Join 97 on the ticket for the Step Up to the Plate Radiothon benefiting Detroit PAL. All day today, Tormina's Pizza locations will be donating 20% of their sales to PAL. Please help out PAL today and have lunch or dinner from Tormina's Pizza, home of the 24-inch pizza. 97 on the ticket and CBS Sports Radio 1270. Your homes for the NFL on Westwood One. The Las Vegas Raiders host the New Orleans Saints. Monday Night Football. Pregame at 7:30 on 97.1. The ticket.
All right, it's 7:20. It's time for news. Here's Heather. What's up?
Well, boys, history was made at the Emmys last night. History. If you missed it, I'm going to tell you what happened. Schitt's Creek actually set a new record for the most wins in a single season for a comedy series. They actually took home 9 Emmys. They took it all, basically. They got Best Comedy Series, Best Actor, Best Actress, Best Supporting Actor, Best Supporting Actress. They just took it all. And then, on top of that, there was more history made. Zendaya, she actually became the youngest winner ever in the Outstanding Lead Actress in a Drama category for her performance in Euphoria, which is on HBO, and she's just 24 years old. So,
In 1 mile,
cool things
make a
happened. Of
U-turn.
course, it was so different last night. The whole ceremony was virtual, so there were no celebrities, no nominees in the stands at all. They were all at home or at, an outside residence. And when I thought about it, so they actually had presenters, okay, which means there had to be a presenter, which each one was wearing basically a special hazmat suit that kind of looked like a tuxedo or a formal hazmat suit. So they had to have a presenter at each nominee's house just in case they were the winner. Because you don't know the winner before. You know the winner only when Jimmy Kimmel opens the envelope. So they had to have somebody at each person's house waiting to be handed an Emmy.
At the
Seems
stop
so
sign,
weird, right?
make a
Like,
U-turn,
standing around in a
then turn
hazmat
right
suit,
onto
but
Cundy Road.
It seemed a little extreme, and it was a little different, but I definitely tuned in just to see how it was gonna go down.
Look, I like Schitt's Creek. I can't believe it completely, with 9.
I know.
I mean, I guess we needed a break from Marvelous Mrs. Maisel.
Turn right
Yeah,
onto
that's true.
Cundy Road.
But still, it was kind of weird. I did see when Jennifer Aniston, I know she showed up early, then she went to her home or somewhere, and then Courtney Cox was there, and then Lisa Kudrow shows up, and somebody else shows up too. I forgot who it was.
Yes.
I think it was David Schwimmer.
I'm sure ratings will be way down, but it was also just kind of, some people talked about, this seems like a weird time to be celebrating, but it's also a good time to be celebrating and trying to bring some normalcy back. So I thought it was kind of cool to watch. Also, Eddie Murphy actually won his first after his first nomination for SNL. And this didn't happen last night on the Emmys. He was awarded earlier on Saturday, and they did play his recorded acceptance speech, and he just kind of said that, you know, how grateful he was. He thanked the Academy, and he gave a special shout out to Lorne Michaels. And then he also said that he is going to get back on stage to do more comedy. He actually said his plan was in the works before the pandemic even hit to get back up on the stage, and he said once everything kind of calms down and is clear as far as the coronavirus goes, he's going to be going in front of more live audiences.
We could definitely use a lot of laughter in this country.
Yes, we could. We definitely could. So, Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg lost her battle with pancreatic cancer on Friday. She was 87 years old. Now, Ginsburg was just the second woman appointed to the High Court, and she was just a fierce advocate for gender equality and women's rights. And Chief Justice John Roberts said that she's going to be remembered as a tireless and resolute champion of justice. And of course, there was tributes that are still pouring in all over social media. I mean, from everybody. It doesn't matter which side political, line you sit on. Everyone was giving tributes to her, celebrities, athletes, and I'm still seeing them now on my social media.
Notorious RBG.
Yes, exactly.
What time do you guys want to talk about if Trump should get the selected nominee?
The hypocrisy in this country is just unfreaking believable on both sides because whatever. Because the other side would do.
I didn't mean that. Shut up.
The destination is on your right. 1387 Maxfield Road. Arrived.
The other side was in power and be trying to do the same thing, I'm sure. Which is stupid. Oh, God.
Okay, so listen to this. Last week, there were some major